Good day everybody, this is Pillar from Telstra Productions and welcome back to Star Trek Online. We're playing on a free-to-play account through the 23rd Century Starfleet Officer storyline, and this episode will be a review of the Wasteland series, or episode list, or adventure zone. Don't know what we call these things, just group of episodes, let's say. So this will be a very short episode. I don't have any other things to do as far as upgrading ships and promotions like I did at the last time we did a review, so this is just literally going to be a review of the Wasteland series. In the background here I have the first thing that I would like to bring up, which is footage of me killing each of the what are they even called? Special kind of rare spawns, I guess they would be called in other games. Don't know what they are in this, but in each zone that you go to, essentially there are encounters that spawn that you can do, and you get extra things for them. So dilithium is the actual set reward, but they can each drop something decent as well, or decent loot, say blues and greens, which are quite good. So in the background is that footage of me going around and doing all that, because I didn't do it as part of the actual leveling or while I was doing the episodes throughout the series. So I thought I'd best go through it at the end and just clip it all together for you here. So I apologise if you were looking for that as part of the series. It's here, don't worry. But so, how do we review the Wasteland series then? So I would like to do it in a few ways. The same sort of structure as I did the Klingon Wars, I think. I'm going to start with storyline. I personally think the storyline was incredible. Really good. I think it's very clear that this is brought in after the rest of it was, if that makes sense. It's sort of slotted in later in development. I don't know when it was, but that's what I've come to realise, that it was developed later, and you can tell that from the storyline. It is really good. It's engaging all the way through, so it is a short series. I think there's only 6 or 7 actual episodes. I mean, the introduction one doesn't count, I guess. Let's actually, I'm just going to have a quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's only 5 actual episodes, 6 if you include the introduction. So it's a very short one, so there's no room for weak points really. It's good that each of the episodes, I would say, are strong, good, really contribute to the story, and the story is engaging and fun. And I didn't think, so my expectations when we first started were very low, because I think it's fair to say that the ground combat in Star Trek Online is generally considered the weaker part of the game compared to the space. So if you would say that separate Star Trek Online into 2 sections, space and ground, I think it's fair to say that the vast majority of people would put the ground as a weaker part of the game. Just because the things like the animations and the polish and the movement feel clunkier and worse than the space combat. I feel like when it was developed, they put a lot of emphasis on the starships looking great and flowing and manoeuvring well. And that comes through, and the space is much better, I would say, than the ground. I think that's perfectly fair. So when I was looking at the Wasteland, and the first sort of 3 episodes that you do are just purely ground based, I started to think that this might not go too well if it's all ground. But you really don't notice. The story is so engaging, and every now and then it pops you up into space, so you do a little bit of space combat, and then it takes you back down again. But it's so different from anything else that I've experienced in Star Trek Online, and it's so engaging and consistent that it flows nicely. And I didn't feel what I thought I would feel, which is frustration at the ground side of it. So I like that. I like that my expectations were completely dashed and ruined, and it exceeded what I was expecting. So that's very good. Very, very good. Storyline wise, like I say, really good. So that's a massive positive. I think the next thing I'd like to talk about is, I think I just talked about polish when it came to Klingon War. The Klingon War, and that's because it was early on in the game. And I don't need to bring this up constantly, but polish is always an issue, and I think it's going to continue being an issue. I mean, the footage that I'm going to be showing you right now, you can probably even see in the chat box. This is just a polish issue, so I'm just going to mention it. But in the chat box, it says things like "get critter group description by ID takes 2 arguments." That's code debug information that's just being output to my chat box. Why is that? That's crazy, surely. Like, I don't need to see any of that. I'm a programmer, so that's what I look at all day. And I really don't get why it's being output in the chat box in the game. So, polish, I think, is a serious issue, and it really needs just fixing up. Why is that there? I don't get it. But, like I say, I could constantly bring up polish throughout this series, and in all of the reviews I may mention it if I spot new things. The one thing that I would say detracts a little bit from the Wasteland series is the voice acting, in that there isn't any. And near the end of the Klingon War I noticed this as well. I didn't bring it up in the review because I didn't think it was fair, because it was fairly minor, it was right near the end, but they, like, certain parts of it weren't voice acted anymore, which is weird because early on it was all voice acted, and I think that was really, really strong and really good. But in Wasteland, not a single part of it was voice acted, and that is probably the only weakness of it. I feel like that would just add so much to it, even if it's just the mission introductions. Yeah, and the sort of handing in, so the actual episode sort of accepting and completing. Even if it was just those being voice acted, I think that just adds so much, and it's probably easy for me to say because I don't truly know, but it feels like that would be fairly easy to add. So I feel like that's a very strong thing that should be added, and if anybody from Cryptic watches my videos, hi, I feel like that's something you should add to the game. But I would say that is probably the only negative. Is that fair to say? I think that's the only negative. As far as it being an adventure zone goes, I think that's really good. Really good, because I wasn't expecting that in Star Trek Online, and like I say, it was added later. It was added after I finished playing many years ago, because I played through the whole storyline before, but this was added later, and I'm told there's more of these, and they just bring such a diversity and difference to the game that I really appreciate it. I think it's a great move. So that, I think, is all I've got to say about the Wasteland series. Is that fair? Did I mention anything else throughout the series that I haven't brought up now that you guys want to remind me of? That would be brilliant. Just put a comment in the comments below on the YouTube video. But I think that's about it. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the footage in the background of this. Next episode, I will be moving on to the Romulan mystery, which starts with heading out. So I'm not sure if that's again just an introduction that takes you to another thing, but we'll do that and see if we can make it into an episode. So join me then. So I hope you've been enjoying. I hope you enjoyed the Wasteland series. I definitely did. I don't know if you picked up, but thoroughly enjoyed it. Really, really good. And I'm really looking forward to moving on to the Romulan mystery. So I hope you enjoyed too. I hope you are enjoying. Hope you will enjoy. And by far, the most important thing is to look forward to the next episode of Star Trek Online.